Hopefully it works this time. I don't know, YouTube, you got things put together? No data to display? What is that? I've never seen that pop up before. YouTube must be having an issue at this point because nothing is working. Oh, hold on, Vivian. I'm sorry, Vivian. I didn't mean to lock you outside. Come on, girl. Let's go, Huskies. Inside. All right. Well, the Huskies are getting along. Still no viewers, still no people. I don't know what happened to YouTube, to be honest with you. I think I broke YouTube. Because I was live a little bit ago and then it stopped and it stopped working. Like, just completely cut off. And now it's back up. But I can't figure out what happened before. So hopefully everyone comes back. And then I don't like it when YouTube system fails like that. Because then nobody wants to come back. You know, they're like, okay, that live's over, move on to the next one. But a lot of my loyal viewers will probably be here. Hello, Alan Rodriguez. How are you doing? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live. We're going to talk about anything and everything, including the drone projects that I have. If you investigate my channel, you will see what it is I do and why I do these lives. That is to get to know you guys instead of just being a faceless YouTube channel. This is sort of niche content. We're talking EDF drones, fully 3D printed, slightly larger fans than most people are used to, and slightly larger drones, including this 70mm EDF. Still waiting for the motors, but other than that, everything else is ready. So yeah. Are you asking what are you asking me, Alan? I don't know. The live was up like 10 minutes ago and there were people on and then all of a sudden it just dropped out. It was a YouTube thing. It's happened to me once before. We're kind of glitches and I guess I'm in a loop that everyone's watching and then everything dropped off. So I had to do it again. So now I'm back. And I was talking about the drones that I'm building in the latest, called it the Strategic Beef Strike video, where I had taken like products, like sausage products, kielbasa, stuff like that. I spun this fan up, not this one, but the 22 blade version that I have here inside of its test rig. And then I dropped stuff into it and it survived. And this is 3D printed, PETG, Creality PETG. And it worked out really, really well. So yeah, at this point, the drones are kind of getting out of hand with me. So next thing you know, I'll be riding one to the store. I've got one that's sitting over there that took 28 kilograms of PETG to print. And it's 5 feet by 5 feet. And has 4 of these fans running 75 volt motors, 18S systems, it's gonna be crazy, like UFO type of crazy. It has 1,440 LEDs in it. It's like ready to go. I make custom drones. Welcome to the chat, Chef. welcome to it. I make custom drones. I get wild ideas. I make 90mm EDF wings that I'm working on back here, and just it's fun. It's great. When you're retired Army, you just kind of sit back and you're like, what do you do with your time? And I'm like, people are like, why don't you travel the world? I'm like, dude, once you get like over 40, why even leave the house? If I go anywhere, it's because I'm going to fly this thing, you know? Or take the kids and the wife out or whatever, have fun. But I like staying home and building stuff, you know? Fusion 360, then print it out, then strap motors to it and send it. I was an E5. Baron Motorsport, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. Glad you could drop by. We're just talking about big drones, well, medium drones, and then big drone engines. This is one of the 11 blade test fans I'm going to be doing another strike test on. If you look at any of the playlists that are on my channel, you'll see what I'm doing. I mean, investigate the content. You'll see what I've been up to for a while. And it's been fun. It's been an adventure, I can tell you that much. Hey Ray, welcome to it. Thank you. It does look pretty cool. This is the only way I can really orient this drone when I'm flying it at night. And it doesn't run kind of conventional props. It runs on 70mm EDFs for the RC jets. So I already have one of these that I already flew. I built it and flew it. You can actually see it. I used cuts out of the video from the original flight for sort of my trailer on my homepage on my channel, and it's really cool. It was a fun drone to build. From Moscow, очень приятно. All right. Yeah, that's what I do. Do I speak in what? I can't. My bifocals aren't working. Urdu? No, I don't know. I can't see it. Yeah, basically what I'm doing is I'm making drones that are powered by EDF. The reason why we ended up getting to this size of a fan and all the hardware that's involved with it is because I was tired of going, like, I wanted to build a big EDF drone, but last thing I wanted to do was burn a kerosene, turbine. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to make my own. I'm going to make it electric. Because all the fans were like super expensive, and they had injection molded or carbon fiber blades and stuff like that. But they were like $5,000, like the Stublers and stuff like that. Not knocking them, and I'm sure they got great EDFs, but they're just too damn expensive. So I just printed my own, strapped an e-skateboard motor to it, and got 12,000 RPMs out of it on a 75-volt system. You'll be back someday. Good luck. Thank you very much for stopping by. Yeah, the whole reason for this channel is it's just a passion I'm following. I am involved, or going to be involved in the DARPA Lift Challenge. I don't know if you've ever heard of the DARPA Lift. DARPA likes to do a lot of different challenges. And they're doing one now, and if you have access to their site, if you're able to see it, then you can get the information. Otherwise, I don't know how much information I can give you about it, but basically, I'm going to be in that challenge, and I already designed a drone for it. I won't get into the details. I think after the lift is done, if they say I can show the video, then I will. But it's the military, so if they say no, you can't use the video, I can't. So I'm kind of hoping they let me, because it's going to be cool. But and I can't really discuss the design because it's sort of proprietary design I've been working on for a while, and I can win this. I can win this challenge. I know I can, because I started building the drone with math. It started with math. And when you use math to start building something, then usually you get a good outcome. Because it gives you a logical preset to start with. And I hate math. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't like it. But it definitely saves me on the designs. So, and a lot of people thought that this drone was impractical because it was 470 millimeter jet engines from an RC jet. Why are they country? Can you rephrase that? I assume you're asking me a question. Annan 883 or 8833. I don't know what you're saying. A lot of people thought this was impractical. They're like, that's not going to be very fast. It's not going to be a fun drone to fly. I'm like, I beg to differ. It was fun to fly. And it can scoot, too. I mean, yeah. I mean, your drone's running in a little tiny 14S battery that's 1500 milliamps. And mine's running a 6S battery that's 6000 milliamps. So, yeah, there's a little bit of a power difference and a little bit of a weight difference. But, if I'm going, if you want to have a drone fight, I'll put mine up, you put yours up, and, we'll do a little bit of bumper cars in the air with the drones. We'll see which one's still in the air. I'll bet money to be this one. How far away am I looking at you right now? I don't know what you mean by that. All right, you're like, I'm probably like 3 feet from the phone. This is the small drone. This is for the big drone. So, but we do have the hold on. This was the one that I was currently working on. This is a 90 millimeter wing. I'm still doing the ailerons right now. The engine is centralized, and it makes this cool howling noise when it flies. And basically, it's got its own wheels and everything that I'm going to put on it, and it has a vector thrust here for the rudder. That's run by this. It's Elevon control. So yeah, and then I still have to do the epoxy coat on this one because the original 90 millimeter wing, it was a little bit, well, the wingspan was shorter. I needed more lift, so I went with a bigger design. So we're gonna finish that one up. That's gonna run off of, like I said, a 90 millimeter 18. I think it's 1450 kilovolt, somewhere around there. And it runs off of, it's 6S. It's a 6S battery. You're from Pakistan. Well, welcome, Pakistan. Glad you could make it today. I had a live that I was doing earlier today, but then something happened and the whole thing shut down. That's happened to me once or twice in the lives. I don't know why. I get those sort of the warnings on my channel that show like, oh, we're dealing with this issue, we're dealing with that issue, that kind of thing. But that could have been something on YouTube's side. So, so how is Pakistan right now? How's the weather in Pakistan? Oh, wait. Yeah, it's cold as hell. Yeah, very cold. I remember. I was over there. Yeah, everyone thinks they think Pakistan, they think desert, they think, oh, it's, it's like it's hot all the time. I mean, it gets hot. Yeah, I've been there when it's hot. But it gets cold too. Snow, everything else you can think of. You get more snow than we do here in California, I'll tell you that. At least down in the valley. I assume you're talking about this one, Roger, which is ironic. Roger Thacker. I'm Roger too. My name is Roger. And to coin a corny Nicolas Cage joke, I think it's two Rogers don't make it right. You remember that, right? What movie was it? Come on, tell me. Lots of snow. One day and the next it's cold melt. Okay, it could melt. Yeah. So it's like you get like a foot of snow and then tomorrow it's like nothing happened. This is a drone that I'm putting together with 470 millimeter EDFs. 6S, not 4S. I don't know why people are trying. I know a guy who did this, who it was well after I had done my original drone, and he was doing the same thing. I think he was using like a foaming PLA arrow or something like that to make the body, to make the whole thing lighter. This drone weighed 6 pounds all up weight before it even took off the ground. It could still lift another 4. So that was fun. And this one is, you can't run it off of a standard drone, 4x ESC. They don't have the amps for it. So I used a APD 500X, which is a power distribution board that could handle 500 watt or 500 amps. And I was pulling 340 at wide open throttle with these 6S, dragging a 6,000 milliamp pack. If you watch the video on this, the homepage if you see the trailer on my homepage, I did cuts out of the original video where I flew the first version of this. And this one is a night version that I wanted to put together. So you'll see it on there. It's pretty cool. It actually flew really well. And a lot of people ask, they go, well, why do you even do it? They go, that's not practical. What the for? It's like, dude, have you ever heard of fun? Just fun. I don't care if it's you're flying FPV drones. What's the practical purpose in that? And they're like, well, the open bladed drops are a lot more. The open blades are more, they accelerate more. They're more agile. You can do acro flying and stuff like that. I'm like, yay! You're doing stuff that's fun. Guess what I'm doing? Stuff that's fun. So, I mean, why would you ask if it's practical? What's the practical purpose? Fun! It's cheaper than narcotics. Oh, I'm just kidding. Thank you for that, Chef. Appreciate it. God has blessed me greatly. But I find it interesting that the first thing that a lot of people think is cool, but then a lot of other people, the first thing that comes out of their mouth is, that doesn't look practical. It's like, they just whine about it. Why are you whining about my drone? Just enjoy it. Shut up and enjoy it. You know, that's what I did this for. They're like, what's that for? That's not practical. Well, I'll show you how practical it is. That drone took 28 kilograms of PETG to print, has 4 of these engines in it, and can lift 472 pounds. So I'd say that's practical. And people don't like it. I don't know what. I accomplished something you didn't. I'm sorry. Okay? I'll share the STL files later on. So everyone feels included. But it's like, I love it when the trolls come in here and start in on me. They sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Because I collect trolls. Usually I turn them. They end up becoming subscribers. They come back every single time. They watch me, you know, doing what I'm doing. Stuff like that. So... yeah, it's just, I mean, it's a lot of fun for me to do this kind of stuff. And people don't understand that, I guess. But I guess I'm doing pretty good on the subscribers, you know, even for sort of a niche content like this where you're not really, people don't go on YouTube and say fully 3D printed EDF drone in the search engine. They look for cringe, chaos, or carnage in 15-second intervals. How much prints I've printed? Oh Lord. Well, I got an X1 carbon probably 2 years ago. Close to that. And I've done well over 6,000 hours of printing. I couldn't even tell you how much PETG. The one drone over there was. Hold on. I'll show you. Like the heck with it, I'll just bring it over here. Yeah, I gotta make a lot of room for it. Hold on. It's a little heavy. Okay. Well, here's one of them. Hold on, let me make some room. Ender 3, anyone? All right. There. I'm knocking stuff over. Okay. Okay. This is the Shrike Ultra. It's not done yet. I got a motor in this one. Got a couple of 18S ESCs. This has 1,440 LED lights in it. Actually, I might be able to show you some of it. Hold on. Oh, that's a mess in here. I gotta get things cleaned up. I'm not powering it up. I'm just powering up the lighting system. And I think only half the lighting system. Yeah, okay. Whew. So, this is the main purpose of this drone here, is to basically be my UFO drone. The bottom half obviously looks like the top half. Sorry, the table's in the way. But, yeah. Fully 3D printed. I'm going to be running a Maytech H734 as a flight controller. It's an 18S system. I have one light that likes to misbehave. That's okay. I'm But yeah, that's the small drone. Well, it's not small, but it's not the one I'm going to be. It's not the one I'm going to be driving around anywhere. Eventually, I will be. Hold on. Let me scoot over here. Things are falling back there. Look, my Mickey Mouse ears. Can you imagine this being a backpack? Yeah. That'd work, right? Thank you for that, Chef. Appreciate it. I didn't know a lot about drones when I first started. But now we have... and this. And my destructive fans that I test. This one was in the beef strike video, which was, by the way, funny to watch. It really was. You'll have to go back and watch my most recent videos. You don't want to miss the good stuff, right? You got to check out all of the playlists so you can see everything from the Shrike V10 Mini to the Shrike Ultra to the 90mm wing. I mean, you name it, I'm building it. What's up, Zink Skibbity? Yes, things are coming along nicely. And I have entered the DARPA Lift Challenge. So that's going to be fun. I know, I remember the name. Who could forget Zink Skippy? Right? The rules, they've really opened it up to everybody who's, well, at least everyone who's a U.S. citizen, anyway. The idea is that they want to be able to lift a 110-pound payload at a minimum. That's basically with a 55-pound drone. It can't. The drone can't be above 55 pounds. Okay, so the idea is that you have a 55-pound drone that can lift a 110-pound payload for 4 nautical miles. Then drop the load and come back 1 nautical mile. So 5 nautical mile round trip, but 4 nautical miles loaded. So I had to design a whole drone for that. And so I designed one. Oh yeah, this can lift 472. Oh, it's Alpha Wolf. I knew I'd get a troll back in here one of these days. How you doing, Alpha? It has been a while, man. Where you been? Yeah, I have to use DARPA's limitations, but that's the thing. It's 55-pound drone, 110-pound lift capacity. I've already designed the drone. It's already done. I just have to build it. And I will win. Oh yes, I will win. This fan took a lot of abuse. That fan was hit by a kielbasa and still kept going. No battery or specifics? No, this is PETG really. As far as the are you talking about the DARPA challenge as far as like battery specifics and stuff? Oh yeah, the DARPA thing. It's the battery specifics. I was originally running it on 23 amp hours, basically 24S. That's what I was using. That left me with a 51% reserve, which means I could have cut back on the battery even more and actually had much more room in the aircraft weight capacity for structural integrity and different things like that. So I think the first prize is 2.5 million and then it goes down from there, but the total cash prize pool is like 6.5 million. So yeah, that was something I was like, I'm going into that one. Especially since they opened it up to everybody, including people who like do this as a hobby in their garage. So I'm like, yeah, I'm totally gonna do it. And my math checks out on every. I've run over the math over and over and over and over and over again on my design. I can complete the challenge. I can complete this challenge. And DARPA, if you're listening, yes, I can complete this challenge. Yeah, I'm gonna have some money. Definitely, finally, I'm gonna like buy some land and put a shop on it and like just do more stuff for DARPA that I won't be able to tell you about later. Oh, okay. Well, that must have been a fun one. I know they do this occasionally. They'll come up with like a random challenge. It just so happened that I had built this even before I knew about the challenge, and but I can't use this one because it's heavier than the. I probably could cut the weight down, but um, it's about 30 pounds heavier than the 55-pound max, but it can lift 472 pounds, which is way over what they were asking for. Well, I am a one person team, but I do have to have an observer. There has to be an observer on site, so they do require at least two people on. You know, when you're doing your run. Well, this one I'm not sure of because this one isn't completely finished yet. But the one that I'm gonna build is gonna be like over $9,000, just because of the hardware I have to use. See, this one was more of it was an experiment of, can I make a 3D printed drone and can I use off the shelf high torque skateboard motors and 75-volt ESCs to actually make it run, and I did. So I'm just waiting for the rest of it. But the drone that I have to build for the project is going to be over 9,000. I mean, the engines themselves are 1,000 a piece. Each battery is over $1,000, and it's 400 just for the props. I hopefully I have some angel investors that are going to be in on it. Mainly because people like the idea of 2.5 million. I haven't hovered myself yet. So I'm a big guy. I'm 6'4" and 300. You know, so no, I need a, I need another, I need another test subject for that. Yeah, this would be, but the problem is that's static thrust, and we're working with PETG blades. Now I alloy these out of 7075 with the right benchtop CNC, Then I'll do the drive system over again, and I'll make sure that it can handle the load. It's the disc loading that's the problem. With PETG blades, adding that kind of disc load, they would fail. But theoretically, the actual static thrust, the math, everything checks out for the lift that it can produce. I just can't. It'll lift itself just fine, and maybe 50, 60 pounds more. But to stress those blades beyond that would be, they would detonate. And so I'm waiting to kind of make everything out of an alloy. The drive shaft and the main blade system, which would be basically this system here, would all be alloyed. The hub, the blades, the main shaft, all that other stuff. And then basically at that point, I would trust it to actually handle the load of my body weight. These are lithium polymers. Yeah, there's 3 10,000 milliamp lithium polymers for the hover test that I'll be using. So no, not from China. I'm going to get some 7075 and hopefully get a good desktop kind of CNC that can handle the blade geometry. And then I'm going to just kind of cut them all out myself and go from there. Yeah, but there's 70. Yeah, those are the motors I'm using for this one. Those are 75 volt motors, roughly. They're the Flip Sky 7070s. So 110 kV, 75 volts, 12,000 RPMs roughly. And on this one, I'm using, there's Z batteries. There are 3 10,000 milliamp Z batteries for the hover test. Then this one eventually will switch to hydrogen electric fuel cell. Once I do the flight worthiness test. That light's not even going to cooperate, is it? Okay, so I may have to work on the wiring on that one. It's okay though. The blinking will make it look even more like a UFO when I take off. This one, gosh, 4,000 hours, roughly. Diesel. Well, unfortunately, I couldn't fit a diesel engine on this. And it'd be a little bit hard to, adjust the motor's RPMs. You could build one of these in a day? Well, considering how many hours it took to print, that would be an accomplishment. That took 28 kilograms of PETG. American Drive Automatics. What is it? I don't even know what that means. Oh, noobs. You were trying to say noobs. Who drives an automatic, man? You gotta have a clutch. 6-speed on the floor. Yeah, but there in Europe, the only thing you can drive is manual, because if you were to say anything about it on Facebook, you'd go to prison. Yeah, autocorrect gets me every time, man. Don't stress. Yeah, it is paddles on the steering wheel. So it's almost like shifting, and I don't even know if you have to clutch it. I think it's just sort of like a, sort of like, 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 a, sort of Yeah, no clutch. It was no clutch, huh? That's what I figured. So it's almost a manual. You ever driven a Volkswagen Bug? That's real manual. I'm talking the 1970s, like Volkswagen Bug. That's a manual transmission, okay? Not these right here, or the slap shifters and the Chryslers or whatever. Where I'm talking like where you got a clutch and I hope you don't roll back into somebody before you engage that gear and not kill the engine when you let the clutch off. Oh man. Yeah, back in my day, all of our dinosaurs had manual. MX3. Yeah. What was that? A 5-speed or 4-speed? I feel like it's a 5-speed. You ever drive a semi truck like 70 speed, man? Oh, yeah. Kenworth, you know? I used to drive a truck all the time. Go through all the gears, splitter, back to the next first one, go back. I did it for Gallo for a little while. Put a V8 in my drone. This one might hold one. It isn't really that hard. It's like you got like a, you got like what? Some of them are 7 or 14 speed, 13 speed, 13 gears. The only difference is you have a splitter. You have on the front of the shifter, you got a splitter. You go through the first set of gears and you hit the splitter, clutch, go back into the first gear, and then you're in the next set of gears going up. So you got your low range and high range, all that other stuff. Driving tandem 48s though, like the Jake brake is dangerous. You want to use the trolley brake. I was running side dumps up in Napa Valley for a while. But yeah, that was some fun days. Back in the days when you were, actually working instead of, people crying because they have to make a couple coffees at Starbucks and going home and it's so much work. Dude, when I started working, I was making like a little bit less than $4 an hour. All these people are complaining about their wages. What car do you currently drive? I have a Chrysler 300C with a 5.8 liter Hemi. Merc E550 about to get repoed? Why is it going to get repoed? You just park it where they can't find it. If you chain the back axle to your porch, they can't do it. They can't move the car without destroying private property. This means they can't take it. Legally, they can't take it because they would have to destroy private property to get to it. And if they cut the chain, that's destruction of private property too. So they can't take it. Once you anchor it to your actual house, it's considered part of the property and the house. So they can't take it. They can try. And you just go out there with the other chain you haven't used yet. You'll never get people to go into debt for a used BMW. Step down from last year's software job after mom passed. Can't get back out on a team now. AI really disrupted. Yeah, it did. Sorry to hear about your mom. That's rough. But yeah, AI is well, that's the whole purpose about AI. It's supposed to be a disruptive technology, and that's the reason why is when you enter the market with a disruptive technology, kind of like what I'm doing here. That's you can either make a lot of money or someone pays you not to do it. So that's what it's about. I'm gonna keep going. They could try and pay me, threaten me, tell me, don't do this, don't do that. But I'm gonna be working under hopefully the same curtain as DARPA, so that'll make it easy for me to keep going and doing what I want to do. Yeah, you say that now until some AI robotic arm is laying brick, and it's just rolling on a rail and pulling it off the pallet. And I'm going to make one right now and sell it to the companies. I'll get your job. I'm just messing with you, man. Google anti-gravity. Of course, are good entry into agents. Yeah. No, I have not, nor will I ever arm my drones. That is against the rules. It's against the law, and it's not recommended for anyone to. If DARPA buys my stuff and wants to arm it later on for whatever they got going on, that's the government's business, but I ain't doing it myself. Even airsoft is questionable because then what it does is it opens up the door to it can be used for those purposes, and I don't want my drones to be labeled that way. I want them more for search and rescue operations, things like that, fire mitigation, recon for police departments, that kind of thing. Fast movers for the military, so drones that can sit squat in the sand until they got a pop-up strike, that kind of thing. That's up to the military. I'm just going to build a platform. That's it. Yeah, you got agricultural use as well. If you want to spray a field at 550 miles an hour. But yeah, it could be done. Well, the idea is to make sure it's usually everything's been 1-to-1 for the most part. So even big agricultural drones, they can only be loaded up so much because it's DJI and it's China and it's crap. But you make an American-made drone, American-made components, American-made motors, that kind of thing, and we start doing that stuff stateside. We don't got to worry about China. They can turn into a glass plate. We wouldn't care. The idea is we want to be able to build a drone that is more than 1-to-1, but still is light in comparison. We want 4-to-1 is what we want. And that's one of the reasons why DARPA is having their challenge. So. Actually, it wouldn't be, I don't think it would be that hard. You definitely get the stuff covered, that's for sure. Can you imagine doing a spray job with this thing? the farmer comes out, and there's like two neat rows that are slowly laid over like it's a crop formation all the way down and back. It's like, crops are sprayed, but they're all. uh, it would have to be from altitude, I would think. It wouldn't. You couldn't do it low like the agricultural drones. It'd have to be from much higher. Fucking dirt spraying everywhere. It sprayed your crops. You'll have to go collect them, but I sprayed them. Well, that's the thing about China advancing fast. And I've noticed this with YouTube. People will take something, right? And it won't be a practical application. It'll purely be for the entertainment grab. It's a short-lived high jump, and then it dies off. When you go up slow, but it's stable and reliable, then you have quality and longevity. I mean, the only thing that ever came out of China that lasted more than 2 months was COVID. Yeah, it would have to be altitude thing. There'd be no way I'm doing agricultural drone altitude with and spraying. Now, I mean, I think you could cover more because the fans would be pushing down so much, and if you sprayed it right at a certain altitude, it would go out and down, and it would straight down, and then once it hit the ground, it would go out. You could cover more distance. In other words, whatever an agricultural drone could do in 3 passes, I could do in 1. So, as an agricultural drone, yeah, it would work. The fans would work to disperse the stuff. It would put in a toroidal, and then 4 toroidals, and then it hits the ground and goes out. And you're covering way more crops that way per pass rather than, a tiny little DJI agricultural drone. Sure, my email. I have an email on my channel page. It's on there. So yeah, shoot me an email. I am under an LLC now, so employment is a possibility. That's what all China stuff is. Overpriced shit. It is. I'm sorry. It's what they do. I mean, it's like it's all overpriced, and that's you think about Temu, for example. They could lose an entire warehouse, and it would set them back $53. But sometimes you get stuff that actually lasts a long time. It's like a long time ago, I bought a nightlight because I have daughters and a wife, and it's this little butterfly with just 3 LED lights in it, and it's a nightlight for the bathroom. I got that for 99 cents, I think, from Alibaba or something like that. And I've had it for 9 years, and it still works. So you're not liable financially. Yeah, LLC. Limited liability company. Correct. A lot of the reason why I had the LLC is because, like I said, this specifically this power distribution board here, this APD 500X, I couldn't get without one because they stopped selling them to the drone enthusiast market, which was a move as far as I'm concerned from APD, but whatever. They're like, we're going to go with more commercial clients. We're closing down our drone enthusiast sector. I'm like, so you're going to cut off an entire revenue stream because you think you're going to make more money just by going, why not keep both? You're making money off of both. Who made that decision? You know? Stupid. What it is somebody got a suit and a tie on, got a promotion, and thought, I'm going to go make a decision that's great for this company. We'll start by cutting off half of its revenue stream. And then make it sound to the board like we're doing the right thing by only going commercial. But whatever. I just got an LLC so I can buy the parts. Yeah. It does. It does. I see what you're saying, Zink. Yeah, you gotta be careful on what you're buying nowadays. Like, and that's why you want stuff that's built in the United States. And of course you want it built by honest companies. So once it's manufactured here and it's proven and it's established, then, and you can rely on the quality, then we're gonna be good to go. Because it's just going to be increasingly harder in the future for enthusiasts who do drones and FPV to acquire the materials necessary to ply their trade. And I think it's unfair. So we just need to do it ourselves. Because, I mean, we can't do it better than China. Come on. You already know we can. The problem was, the Dems wanted to make sure that they had a way to launder money back into their own pockets. So they had to have these deals with no oversight that went overseas and stuff like that, like teaching Afghani women about art appreciation. They're not going to care about that. They want bread. They're hungry over there. They're starving. They want medical care or something like that. But all this money just circled back into the pockets of the corrupt. Of the Dems, of the Newsoms, I mean the Pelosi's, I mean the people in government, and that's just how it works, you know. I mean, so we're shutting all that down. We need to shut all that down, and we need to make sure it's all stateside, and then we need to get rid of the people who are corrupt in Congress. We need to get rid of them. There needs to be term limits, okay? We don't need Nadler walking around and an iron lung still trying to pass policy. You know what I mean? Or Newsom, in office. Dude, anybody who could sit like that and cross their legs is not a dude. Okay? And the way he talks when he's on camera makes you want to walk up and say, hey, governor. But it's nobody can cross, no real man can cross their legs like that. In pants like that. No freaking way. No way. I think, honestly, Lady Gaga's got bigger junk than he does. I guarantee it. I mean, have you ever seen the guy in an interview? He crosses it's like freaking Basic Instinct all over again, you know? It's like he crosses his legs already. All I can think of is, that would hurt. Oh, hold on. I want to read that comment. Stupid ad popped up. You know you hate on China, but you can't deny the construction work, roads they make. Well, yeah, I mean, they have great construction capabilities, but I'm not saying that they can't make good stuff. I'm saying what they make for us is crap, and there's a reason for that. I mean, how else do you stay ahead of another? And that's what it is. Complica. How you been, man? How's it going? Glad you're here. I have a whole 8 people because I'm so sexy. Nah, people don't watch my lives anymore. Well, I didn't fall off. I'm over 20,000 subscribers now, so it's still growing. Um, the problem is, again, it's niche content. And so when I'm done with getting everything built, I get it in the air, then things will change. I saw that because you got to remember, you know how YouTube works. Uh, if it's not 15 seconds in the first second and a half to 2 seconds, if it isn't carnage, cleavage, or chaos, no one's going to stay and watch it. And that's because intellect is out the freaking window here right now. Nobody wants to pay attention to the science behind whatever it is that's being done. So I have to show something really cool in the beginning of the videos and then explain how I got there by doing another video on that. But even then, you risk losing the attention of the people that are watching because all they care about is the cringe, chaos, or cleavage. That's all they care about. And then they want to swipe or whatever, and then whatever. The point is, any of those type of channels that have a high growth rate fall off quickly. If they have a high growth rate really quick, like you get a short that gets like 2 million views in a couple of weeks or a month or whatever, and it goes viral or whatever, then it's gone afterwards. The people that have subscribed to me are quality people. They want to see what's going on here. They want to see the end product. So my channel will have longevity. When the larger channels that are just putting out the 30 seconds of garbage to get the attention are going to fall off and disappear. I'll still be here. And that is the truth. The hard truth that most people don't want. Basically, it's like this. If you see a channel that jumps up really, really fast and shorts that get lots of views, what's going to end up happening is they're going to get way up to the top and then Jake Paul it. And now what? Now you're in the hospital crying, your teeth are in your hands, and nobody's watching you anymore. So, but you Mike Tyson this, you're in it for good. And my last name is Tyson. And that's no BS. You do it, so yeah. It's the love of the game, man. Yeah, Conflict, you've been here for a long time, man. And that's appreciated. That's what I mean. It's the quality stuff. It's the ones that aren't going through their subs and going, why did I subscribe to that channel and then unsubbing? You know, it's the people who go, I know that guy, I know that channel. What's coming out next? And I swear it's like I'm wearing friggin' 340 millimeter EDF Mickey Mouse ears. You know? Yeah, he has been here for a long time. I don't even know where Glory is right now. He'll pop up eventually. Sometimes he doesn't get notified. I've noticed there hasn't been a lot of people that have been notified of the lives. They don't get notified in time, or they don't get notified at all. Look, you all need to click the bell and then hit all notifications. And then if your phone is set up for it, and you have to set it up to allow YouTube notifications. So that's what you need to do. And then you need to become a member of the channel. You need to sign up as a member. Members means STLs. Okay, so if you become a member, STLs. You're going to be making your own stuff. Glory's good people. Yes. So yeah, I don't think I have any channel members yet. I have. What does that say? I am that innocent. I am not that innocent. Hey, Beard. How's it going? Welcome to the channel. But yeah, that's the whole point. You know, everyone's like, we gotta do channel memberships if you want to like get anywhere in this and have, you know, special perks and things like that. I felt like it was just. I felt like it was a dick move to like make people do memberships just to give them content that you're already creating. But there will be specific content that will have perks like STL files and things like that. And I'm thinking, if you want to become a member, if you want to support the channel in that way because you like the content, I want you to do that because you like the content, because you like what you're seeing. Because everything I get will go back straight into this. And you get more content. And plus, you have access to my CAD work, STL files, so on and so forth.
Answer Co's question.
What?
I said answer Co's question. He's asked it twice.
Oh, why do I think of SpeedyB stacks? I think they're good. I mean, I'm using a SpeedyB F405 Wing Mini on this one right now. Their stacks with their built-in ESCs are great for standard drones. They work great for whatever drone you're building it for, as long as you match up the power supplies, ESCs, motors, stuff like that. I love the SpeedyB stacks. I haven't tried any other stack but SpeedyBs at this point. I am going to go with a Maytech for this, but I might go with a SpeedyB. If SpeedyB goes, hey, I want to see my flight stack in that drone. But the wing is what I use because you can't, the power that the EDFs draw from this system overwhelms the capacitor on the stack. You're not, the amps are too high. So I went with an APD 500X power distribution board, powered the board through that, ran the motor controls from the board to the motor inputs on the wing, powered my Arduino for the lights also off of that, and that's how I'm running it. So this stack, it does not have an ESC that can handle the amps that an EDF can draw. And when you're running 340 amps wide open throttle, you have to have something that can handle those amps. That's why I piggybacked a secondary power distribution board on the actual flight controller. York, UK. Yeah. York in England. You're in my country. I am a Plantagenet. Unite the... Somebody's been watching Braveheart. Let's unite the clans. Unite the clans. Yes. Complicator, you need to do some research for me because the King Richard Plantagenet, the Kingmaker, is my grandfather, and I'm pretty sure somebody's sitting in my throne. So you need to get the old codger out of there so I can start running shit for you. Hey, I appreciate that. How to speak. Oh, how to spell Mark. I'm sorry. I didn't see that. Bifocals. Apologies. Hey man, I do this every day. Well, not every day on the lives, but I do make videos a lot, and I do the lives as frequently as possible. I hope everyone had a good New Year. All right, Copflicker, you got to do some research for me and find out if I own any land over there. I'm a Plantagenet in York, the House of York. I got King Richard in there. I got Cicely Neville. They're all my grandparents. I even have Ragnar Lothbrok and Aslaug Sigurdsdottir as my grandmother, the Queen of Denmark. Back in the day. So I descended from them. You want to be a plumber or an electrician? Don't be both. That could get dangerous. Why not some electrical engineering? Or smith? Because he wants to be a plumber or an electrician. That's what he wants. But it's got to be one or the other. Because doing electrical work while plumbing is probably dangerous. Oh look, Axit came in with something so like intelligent to say. I was like, that was great. But he wants both. Well, he could do both. I mean, just not at the same time. I imagine that would be a shocking experience if he dropped something. I never went to high school. I found it boring. I just got I did the test and got a release from my school district, and I started going to a junior college when I was 14, studying computer hardware systems and graphics. 3D Studio Max, when it first came out, we were running it in DOS. We were excited when the first Pentium 386 came out. Axit, I don't know what you should be. How about a nuclear lawyer? Would that work? Something tells me you wouldn't do the whole... I don't know if you could do the whole physicist thing. I should probably do fine. Why? Oh, so why do you think you should have done plumbing, Alpha? Lawyer way easier. Yeah, if you're a public defender, then all you gotta do is sit there, nod, smile, and put people away for no damn reason. I don't know if you can share your music with me. Not on live stream anyway. I mean, but I have an email on my channel page. I'd be happy to listen to it. So send me an email. I'll check it out. Have I named the ships? Which one? This is the Strike Mini, Strike 70. This is the Strike Ultra Sarop drone. It's going to be a search and rescue platform, hopefully. Yeah, I hear you. At least you're doing the solder joints right. Well, see, isn't the like the main? I think the mainstay for you guys is copper, right? All the way up to the house. Because here they like switch it to PVC. Hold on. You saying being a lawyer is tougher than being special law? No time, no true peace, no point of earning money. How do you figure? Like, where's the logic behind that? I got paid good money for capping Hodgies. Ain't nothing like the pink mist on a cold morning. You're a lawyer. Wow. Okay. So what would your defense be? Here's one. Here's funny. I had a viewer, not a viewer. I had a subscriber at one point who got mad at me because I kicked him off of Discord, and he said he was going to sue me. Hold on. Let me give you the details. He was going to sue me because we had talked on Discord, me and a bunch of him and a bunch of other people that were on the channel. And he was throwing out a bunch of gibberish from ChatGPT because we know ChatGPT is going to say whatever you want it to say. So it doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. It's going to tell you what you want to hear. And he had himself stuck in a role play mode with ChatGPT where he thought he had broken ChatGPT and got all of its secrets. So he had it make an STL file of some amalgamation of gears and shit that were all jammed together. It didn't even look like anything feasible. And then I was working on my 170 mil, doing my 4-to-1, step up ratio on my gears, and he got mad because he either stumbled onto some crystal or something and went nuts on my Discord and started rambling about stuff. So I kicked him off of there, and then he says, "You censored a priest." I'm like, "You're a priest?" I don't know. He's not even a priest. I don't know what he was, but then after that, he threatened my minor children with his children, which is a bad move with a veteran being me because of what I'm capable of. And then he said he was going to sue me under maritime law from a landlocked state in the United States because he's in the Arizona desert. So I laughed the whole time because, to be honest, to tell me you're going to sue me under maritime law within the United States and a landlocked state, you have to be smoking some really good stuff. And it was hilarious. It was hilarious to hear somebody say, "I'm going to sue you under maritime law." He said he was a Mormon priest, even though he wasn't a member of the Mormon Church, apparently. And they just granted him the priest. He went nuts, man. I actually felt sorry for him because I thought, you need help, man. If anything, you need help. And I had to block him from the channel. And then he jumped on his girlfriend's channel and started saying stuff, so I had to block her. And he jumped on his daughter's channel, so I had to block her. It's like he went nuts. like totally obsessed with me because I was making something that, and he wanted to ride my coattails. And it's like, you know what? You earn your own living. Okay? That's what I said. Don't be a loser and sit here and get pissed off because I cut you off because you lose your damn mind. Threatening my children was one thing. That's enough to get you, that's enough to make you my next set of fertilizer right there. That's all there is to it. Yeah, I know. That's why I laughed because the guy was he was very unsound. He was saying some very unhinged stuff about the government. Said I was a Chinese spy. Me. Yeah, I think he liked me. I think that's what it was. Yeah. I think he was. I think he was disturbed, and and at one point I felt sorry for him because I thought maybe the guy needs help. I mean, the thought of the guy stumbling back into a relapse of something, and maybe hurting himself or others, the compassionate side of me was, I want to make sure he's okay. He always lost his freaking mind and put himself in a position to be eliminated because he threatened my children by, eliminated meaning he gets put in jail. Not something I would do. But I felt sorry. I felt bad for him. And that's what I do is I have compassion for people even though they do me wrong until they do me wrong again. And then that compassion turns into not revenge, punishment. And that's how it works. My shirt? Yep. Bet the Venezuelans appreciate this one. You know Maduro's sitting in a cell with Diddy right now, and Diddy's like stroking his hair going, don't worry, man, they took my oil too. I ain't gonna flash anybody. UK uses miles? Yeah, that whole thing with Maduro was funny, wasn't it? Like, you got all these countries around us, like, bolstering, like, saying they got subs and stuff like that and ships and come and get me. And it's like, and we went and said, we like 6 minutes and 34 seconds from bang to bullets. And we had his ass in cuffs and on a ship. And now every other country's like, oh man, we better shut the fuck up. I wear offensive shirts. Not about gay. What are you talking about gay for? UK uses miles per hour like American, but then they use kilograms like okay. No, Complicator, I think the shirt you're talking about was the one where I had one that says that I was a straight white Republican male. And that one was because I'm sick and tired of everyone that they act like they go, oh, you misgendered me. I'm like, I don't know what is going through your head. I don't know what the hell you think you are today. You look like somebody like dumped rainbow glitter all over your face, and you're wearing a septum ring the size of a freaking toilet bowl. And it's like, what am I supposed to think? What are you, a ma'am, a sir? Nobody knows anymore. The only thing you can go off, if there's an Adam's apple, you already know what you're dealing with. But just because of the way they're dressed, they're like, oh, how dare you misgender me? And it's like, I didn't walk in here looking for a fight with someone who doesn't even know who the fuck they are. That's all there is to it. So I wore a shirt. I said, wear a name tag. Tell me what you are. It might be 16 feet long and you don't know what it with all kinds of weird shit on it, but I don't know. It doesn't matter. At least you're identifying yourself. If you don't want to get misgendered or misidentified, then tell us what you are. Because that's why I wore the shirt that said straight white Republican male. I said, look, I'm not just telling you to do it. I'm doing it myself. It's like, that way you don't misgender me. I mean, what kind of BS is that, right? Lauren Zod. How are you doing today? Welcome to the chat. And I'm going to tell you another thing. If I ever encounter people out there, I don't like to offend people individually. Okay? I don't like to offend individuals. I kind of like to do it as a group. And I had, like, this one woman walked up to me. I was wearing that same shirt, the one that said straight white Republican male, right? And I walk up and this old lady looks at me. She turns around, she leans against her carts, and she gets that look on her face. And I'm thinking, not yet. Here comes another fight. You know what she did? Fist bump. I was like, that's right, Granny. That's right. You're on the right side of this one. Yeah, I'm in California. She was based, man. She goes, like, fist. I didn't expect that. She fist bumped me, and I'm like, that's right, Granny. We got this. But then every once in a while, you run on to, you can't even figure out what they are. I mean, you don't even know what they're trying to be. You know what? You can pretty much tell what they are, but you don't know what they're trying to be. And then they get mad when you don't know what they're trying to be. It's like, wear a name tag or instructions or something on the front of you so we know. We already know you're sort of in that realm because of the septum piercing and the blown out ears and the rainbow hair and the sense of entitlement. But we don't know what you're identifying as. If you don't want to be misgendered, just wear a name tag. And I'll call you by whatever name you want. Just make sure that indecisive moron is in there somewhere. Because like I said, I don't want to insult any individual. I'd much rather insult a group of you. Black Rookie comes in, he's like, what the? I'm not even sure what that means. Oh man, I'm going to erase that from my memory. Oh, thank God you're talking about a real cat. Ugh. Okay. I had a cat. His name was Gizzy. And he was a big, fluffy tabby, right? Part Maine Coon. When he was a baby, he used to stay on my shoulder. And as he grew up, that's where he slept. He'd like to hang out on my shoulder while I'm doing CAD work or whatever. And then when he got to full size, he's like wearing a fur. All right, so he'd get up here, back legs are here, front legs are here, and he's laying his head down right here, and he would just stay there. It was my favorite cat. I miss him dearly. He passed away a while ago. Yep, everyone will remember Gizzy. Nobody messed with him either because he would mess up any other cat, man. I mean, he just about maimed every other cat he saw. You don't have any of that trans stuff in your country. Congratulations. It was Gizzy. Izzy was close, but it's Gizzy with a G. I'll get a picture of him if I can find. He's probably in my Google Photos. I'll make a post about Gizzy. Gizzy was awesome. I have no idea. Are you speaking a different language? You do know these bald Sphinx cats, right? You have two. What are you talking about? Like bald Sphinx cats? I've seen the bald cat. Why would that freaks me out. See a cat with no hair, you're like, there's only one way that works in life. It's only one way it's beneficial. And I'm not going to get into details. But a cat with no hair only works for me one way. Oh man, I'm gonna get in trouble. Speak. I don't know, man, who doesn't want to hear this cat. Oh, damn. Oh, I'm going to get in trouble. Wife's going to be poking her head out the door at me, staring at me. Oh, this is a fun chat. You guys have been good. You really have been. Where'd the lawyer go? He was getting entertaining for a second. I don't know what this... hey, Bayed something or other, just 5359. I don't know what you are saying. Dude, you were... Well, at least we know he's on the same page, right? How you doing? Tina, how do you say your last name? Moss? Moss? 391. Is it Mass or Moss? Moss. I don't know how to say your name. When it comes to names, I'm going to butcher them. That's all there is to it. It's not on purpose. It's not out of disrespect. It just happens, okay? People come up to me and tell me their names, and I forget immediately after. I'm like, well, it was nice to meet you. See you next time. It's not on purpose. I'm designing stuff in my head and people talk and I know what they want to say and they're not finishing it fast enough and it's driving me insane. You know, it's like they start off with this story and I'm like, I know where you're going. Just get to the punchline or the point or whatever it is. I guess it's an ADHD thing. At least that's what I'm told. People start talking and it's like, just like, I knew what you were going to say when you opened your mouth. Stop. Oh, man. This has been a fun stream. You guys have been cool. Oh, I can't wait to get this thing in the air. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, well, hold on a second. I gotta move this thing. I'm gonna end up breaking it. Pull the battery. Hold on 1 second. It's a slightly large drone. Ow. Okay. Hold on, I gotta brace it up so it doesn't fall over. I gotta get a bigger shop, everyone. This one is not cutting it. If I don't, I'm gonna run out of room for everything. There we go. Okay. Well, that gives me a little bit more room. Oh my gosh. Stupid gravity. Whew. Add 4 extra lipos. Yeah. Yeah, I could. The problem with that is those stupid things are $275 for the pair. I need 2 more pairs, and I would have 18S, so 75 volts, and I would have 6 10,000 milliamp lipos. If I ran those in, not in series, but parallel, the first 3 are in series, and the second set of 3 is parallel. That would give me 20,000 milliamps, or 2 amp hours. Or is it 20 amp hour? No, it's not 20 amp hours. Because my other drone I'm building for the DARPA Lift Challenge is 23 amp hours. And it's 2 12S packs at 23 amp hours. Maybe it is 2. Yeah, maybe it is 20 amp hours. But see, an EDF system running the motors that I'm running is going to eat up energy a little bit quicker. It's why I'm going for a hydrogen fuel cell eventually. That's what I was going to do, is try and make a battery myself. Just get the cells and just put together my own custom pack. I did find a place that does make custom packs. So I could basically say, okay, this is my weight allowance for my packs. Give me 20 amp hours. Give me 30 amp hours, whatever it takes. You know, that kind of thing. Because I'm only pulling 100 amps max on each motor. And, which does change, I know, with disc loading and everything on the fan. The more load you put on the fan, the more amps it's going to take. That kind of thing. So, yeah. I am definitely going to work on custom packs for sure. This one, This one can hold. See, this is the 6,000 right here, right? I'm gonna unplug this and show you something where I run the battery down. So the battery that I'm running this one with is a 6,000 milliamp LiPo, right? That's what runs this drone with 470 millimeter EDFs. This is a 10,000 milliamp 6S battery, and watch this. Like a glove. And it can power this. I need to put the converter on it, but this one can power this drone as well. And it's not even that much heavier. So I can put a 10,000 milliamp battery in this and run it, and it'll actually work. Which is kind of cool. Hold on a second. I gotta see if I have a converter. So I can plug that one up. Where are my converters? I've got hardware everywhere. Okay, we'll have to find the converter for that one. But I thought it was on the end of that battery. Oh, I know where it is. I think. No? No, not that one. That's a male. Oh, that's a female. I need a male. Hold on. I have to find one. I know I've got more here. So anyway, the point is this one will power this one too. As soon as I put the converter on. So I'll be able to, I can run a 6,000 or a 10,000 and it has plenty of power to lift it. So I use a TX16S by Radio Master. That's my transmitter that I use for the 2.4 gigahertz ELRS. But the 90 millimeter wing this one is standard serial bus controller. It's not in here at the moment, but ESC's in there. I've got to get that Velcro tape for it. This has its own independent. It'll have a rudder here for vector thrust on yaw. So when I do take off this time, I'll have a lot more yaw authority. And the wingspan is much bigger on this. And the elevons are here, and they're going to be hinged elevons. So that's going to be nice. I'm not going to be using any of the, cloth hinges or anything like that. But if my printer doesn't stop acting up when I'm trying to print those, it may just end up being duct tape. So the point is, it's a centralized 90 millimeter EDF. And this one actually runs on the 6,000 milliamp brick. So that goes there, and I have a cap for that, and then I have wiring to make everything internal. So the wiring gets tucked into here where the ESC is. All my aileron, I have everything, all my control surface housings and stuff on the bottom. And there's going to be carbon fiber tubes that go through here all the way down. Just waiting for them to get here so I can put them in. And then I'm going to put a thin epoxy coat over the top of this wing, just like I did the other one, because it made it a very rigid very rigid wing. And this 90 millimeter EDF has a lot of power. So, and I'm using my little Mario Kart looking TPU wheels here. They don't turn, but with the vector thrusting, I'm not going to have to worry about that on the ground. It'll still fly good. and it's very lightweight, which is kind of what I was going for. Because a heavy plane doesn't fly. Well, it can, but ELRS, that's what I'm using. Yeah, ELRS 2.4 gigahertz Radio Master. But that one's running on a standard serial bus controller. So that's just a standard Fly Sky radio, you know. Old school. I have an old school video section here. Like an old school playlist where you can see kind of the stuff I used to do a long time ago. A lot of it's video from an old YouTube channel I had that I opened up, and it was a long time ago, so I opened it up with a Yahoo email. So Google can't reconcile it and let me back into that channel. I am using CAN on the Strike Ultra because drone CAN is going to be something I'm using for that because I'm running it on the Mag Components AMPX 120 amp 18S systems, the 18S ESCs. I am running drone CAN for that. I want to get tinkering with CAN bus. Yeah. Throw Windows remote. Really? That would be interesting. I don't know. I've never seen that one. I'll have to look that up. Is that like a new one that they came out with? I haven't looked up their stuff lately because I've been busy doing this stuff. But I'll look into it. I appreciate that. I'll check it out and tell you what I think about it. Software analyzer tool to decipher what can bus event goes to what button and then duplicate. Well, I see what you're talking about. Yeah. Well, the idea behind bus is just to run everything in a chain. You don't need so many contacts. Like you're not having to worry about UARTs. You're just going into the one input and then controlling everything that way. UARTs were the problem for me because I wanted to hook up GPS. I wanted to hook up GPS is annoying for one because when you're doing, I don't put GPS on this when I'm testing indoors or at a regulated field where I have control. The reason why is because when you're doing iterative testing and you're changing your PID loops and all that other stuff, or you're changing your gyro filter frequencies, things like that, especially when it comes to EDFs, you don't want to sit there every single time and wait for GPS to find the satellites and then boot up and allow you to arm it so that you can turn. So I do a lot of my testing without the GPS first, get it tuned in, dialed in, then I plug up the GPS so that I can, transmit whatever remote ID or whatever crap I'm supposed to do for the regulations nowadays. So, Complicator, you have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Well, kiddies, I had a live going before this one that got cut off midstream because of, I'm assuming, YouTube. I have no idea. Hopefully next time we do a live, I'll have a machine. Zinc, You have a good weekend as well, man. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. I'm gonna wrap things up so I can, go do some more CAD work. Got to get this fan set up for the next beef strike. Full kielbasa into the fan. So yeah, and possibly half of a chicken breast. We're gonna see what happens. But other than that, you guys have been great. You've been good company today. I always love it when I got a good crew on. I know everyone's like, you only had 6 concurrent. It doesn't matter. You guys are good people. That's what I like. So, and that's the point of all this. Not just my projects, but getting to know all of you guys, saying hi to the people I already know, and enjoying the company. So I want to thank you all for that. Thank you all for taking time out of your day. I hope you had a great New Year's. I hope everyone's doing well. And I will see you again real soon in the next one when I am going over the aftermath of whatever is going to happen to this when I drop a huge piece of meat into it at 12,000 RPMs. Salute.